Have you ever thought about creating a course as a yoga teacher? Today, I want to share a little bit about an introduction to course creation for yoga teachers and what I've learned along the way so that you don't have to figure these things out by yourself. Let's get started. So, first thing that I learned about creating courses was the ability to reuse content, right? So when I was first teaching group classes, I really struggled with this idea that uh, I showed up having done my prep, right? My theory prep, my physical prep, then I do the class, then I support the students by communicating with them after. But then that was it. Like anything that I shared inside of that experience with the students, whether online or in person, I had to physically go through over and over again for any one person to benefit from it. And so I realized, hey, I want more reach. I want to reach more people, impact more people with a piece of work that I do. And I realized that recording content is the best way to reach more people. So that was a huge part for me, was recording content to reach people, record content to reach people, and just like really ingrain that in, because recordings are basically clones of you, and you can then distribute those clones on social, on course platforms, in ads, in a bunch of other places to spread the word and bring people in. So that was absolutely crucial. The second thing that I learned was that I wanted to have leverage, right? So, for example, one place where I started with a lot of yoga teachers and really building my name up as a teacher myself was at a yoga school and delivering this set of classes called Yin with Josh. And these classes were a combination of three different themes, each with two classes. And I had a set of stories and a set of principles. Excuse me, came out of nowhere. I had a set of stories and a set of principles that I shared and wove through each of the classes so that we progressively went from one to the next, to the next, to the next. But again, I wanted to be able to say, hey, I can reuse this for something else. I wanted to be able to continue expanding on this, right? And this is where it got a little bit different. Was I realized, hey, I'm at this yoga school and they're bringing in students all the time, but I'm still working on this like hourly rate. And every single student that came in, I had to go back to the start from zero, right? Work with them all the way through. Then they'd move on, right? Then we'd have a new teacher training, a new set of students. We'd start from zero, go up to a set amount. And that's just, the physics of the time, right? If you go to a teacher training, it's 30 days or 24 days or whatever it is. So even if you take one on the weekends, that's over 6 months. Once you finish it, you finish it. And as a teacher, I wanted to be able to take students to the next level. So where a course really became appealing to me and why I started pursuing it more was because I realized if I record the content, I can keep developing the material, and the students who are already on board are already my students. They love what I teach and what I do. Shout out to Tech Solutions for Yoga Teachers, where a lot of teachers come in and do that. But if you're in a state where you're doing that, the students you already have, they're going to love and be interested in the new content that you have that expands on your original material. And the new students who are coming in, they've got your original material, right? So at that point, they're going to start going through your original content and progressively start catching up to where your other students are. And what's so awesome about that is, I don't know about you, but for me, I really enjoy continuous education. I really enjoy developing my skills and my mindset. I really enjoy meeting new people and learning from them. So, a course gives me a really cool opportunity to keep growing and evolving and working at my pace, and then turning around and sharing those lessons I've learned with my students, and then also having new students come in right from the very beginning and marching through at their own pace. So that has been really cool for me. The next one that I want to share is more community-based, and this is a particular setup that I found to be extremely helpful as yoga teachers, because I want to benefit from everything that I just said, right? But I also wanted to be like, how can I support yoga teachers on this journey? How can I have them support each other? How can I have us all feel really connected without spending hours and hours with each and every person and having it take up all my time and just doing, basically manual coaching one-on-one. So I brought in some group classes, right? Group calls more specifically. And on group calls, we have different themes for different parts of my course, and whatever course it is, I'd have different calls for different topics. And what I did that was specific to this, that's different from most intensive yoga teacher trainings or even like extended ones, is that instead of keeping everybody isolated into a small group, right? Like, oh, this is only my gang, which I have no problems with. I have no beef with like a close-knit group and that just runs together. What I wanted to do was sort of expand on that, particularly because I help teachers over 6 to 12 months. So I really wanted to bring in everybody together. And what this does is, like, when someone comes in and they're just on their first month, second month, third month, if they join a group call, they're going to see other people doing stuff in maybe their 6th month or their 8th month or their 12th month, right? So they're going to see other people which are way further along in the course. And initially, those students are like, huh, what's going on? What are they talking about? But over the next 2, 3, 4, 5 months, they repeatedly see those students working on stuff. They see the students further ahead. They get a preview of the concepts, of the process, of the content. And as a result of that, by the time they get there, they're much more familiar with it. The adoption of the learning curve is much quicker, and they tend to go through the process much faster. And that's because it's communal learning. It's not just me sharing it. They're seeing the questions other students have. They're seeing the troubleshooting. They're seeing what they're working on. And that gives them that preview that, as I go through, things aren't going to be as challenging because I've already seen some things and other people through it. And I know, hey, if this person was on the group call and they expressed that this thing worked well, or they figured out some kind of challenge, right? Then they know I can reach out to these people, or at a minimum, ask me who's there, and then I can connect those people together. So I think that's really powerful for yoga teachers. The last one here, I want to keep this video short, is that having an online course up front, it's a lot more effort to build, right? There's no denial about it, but it completely changes the way you run things, because when you just run group classes, right, what I found was I was running around, I was doing group classes at different studios around the world. I'd often stay at a studio for several months, and then I'd move to another studio in another country and, be there for a year or two or something like that. And what happened is I just didn't you're so busy all the time that I didn't really have time to build things for myself. And once I did that, right, once I made the investment to build in myself, build my own course, build my own systems, have my own tech stack and apps that I run and skill set, I found that the course runs in the background and on a very manageable schedule, right? For me, it's 2 one-hour group calls per week. So if I sign up 10 students or 1 student, compared to my existing students, like, my workload pretty much stays the same minus some other small factors, but I'm not tied to increasing my students equals increased work, right? So what this allows me to do is when I sign up students for my course, I can still go do an in-person workshop, host a retreat. In fact, in 2022, I was living in Turkey. I hosted a retreat from a student who came from England, and the student who came was actually already in my course as well. That was why he came. And we actually had a group call, he and I, on this private retreat together. We had a group call with the other students in the course. So it was really cool for the students in the course who couldn't make it, and really fun for the guy, because the two of us, we got to do some really, focused work together, but we still got to connect with the other students in the course. So it's a nice way of balancing it out. So I hope that you found this super helpful. I know creating a course can seem like a lot, but I want to share with you, I can do it, you can do it, anyone can do it, and it's just a matter of giving it your best shot and continuously showing up. So I wish you all the best of luck in creating your course. Subscribe for more content, and I'll see you in the next video.